What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to another episode of RB Barner. Today is episode... Is it 13 already? I think it's episode 13. It's the 6th of December in-game, and it's actually the 6th of December as I record this video. It's a weird coincidence. That happens once in a while. Ironically, this video goes up the day after it's being recorded, so it's the 7th of December for you. I hope you've had your Advent chocolate. We're a week into this now. I've not got an advent calendar actually. I feel sad about that. Traditionally, you guys who have been here a while will know I used to do an advent calendar series, and then it took a lot out of me, a lot of effort making sure I had a video recorded every single day around working full time and all that jazz. But there is a little part of me that misses it. I don't feel Christmassy at the moment. If anyone has any tips for me to get Christmassy, please let me know. Is it immoral for me to go and get an advent calendar a week in? Because I mean, as I talk aloud here, I'm weighing it up. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we've nearly got January coming up, and I want to be like, we've got a load of money to spend. We haven't. We've got some wage budget, and, well, that's the transfer budget there. But the club balance is still very, very healthy. So if we wanted to bring in someone, we probably could, but at least now, shorter term, I don't feel like we need anyone. I mean, you can see here, and I talked about it last episode against Espanyol, just everyone's kind of performing, and despite a little bit of a meh performance against Espanyol, we're continuing to do really, really well, and it's difficult to really find a negative at the moment, which, I mean, maybe I'm jinxing myself here. I guess the negative would be that Lobotka's struggled to play, and he's been out actually with a semi-long-term injury, which in some ways has been a bit of a blessing, but right, let's get into the fixture, shall we? Because I'm all over the place today, apparently. Last episode we took on Espanyol. Since then we have played 6 games. We played 2 in the Europa League, and we've also played 4 league games. We started off with a 1-0 win against Astana. Not the most convincing of performances, but Haaland with a man-of-the-match performance. He got the goal in the game for us. Good little performance there. We followed it up with a win against Girona. Haaland again getting another brace. This man has found some form. He's found his feet. You can see 11 goals in the league, 3 in the Europa League. He's getting them on the international stage as well. And, well, you can see the ability progress chart here. That is a big jump up, of course. The ability progress chart is merely what your staff interpret his current ability to be. But, it would be safe to say he's been held in quite high esteem here at the club, and, well, that's not entirely surprising given his recent form. Unfortunately, we did suffer 1 loss in this run of games, and it's the only one that we've had. It's the only time we've dropped points as of late. Our first defeat in about 2 months, and it came against Athletic Bilbao. You can see the goals on screen here. This was a pretty even game. You can tell by the stats in the bottom left. We had chances to win this game. On another day, we may well have won this game, but we weren't clinical, and away from home, they put us to the sword. 2 goals in the space of 10 minutes, after the 60-minute mark. We made some subs. They really didn't work out. It was a little bit disappointing, this one. Our midfield was pretty absent throughout. Haaland had a lot of the opportunities fall his way in this one. And actually, you can see here, he got a 6.2. So for all the praise that I'm going to give him, you could argue that his misses in this game did cost us in the end. Anyway, the next game we had was against Tottenham. I will show the highlights for this one, but I feel like I really have to do this. I have to draw your attention to the fact that we had 2 unlikely starters in this game, and one of them got man of the match. And that man was Fran Lopez. This guy, I decided to play him in Europe. Following on from the Astana result, we knew we were through to the knockout round. A little bit of a bold move against Tottenham, but it worked out well for us. You can see, playing for our B team, he has been absolutely tearing up the division. He's far too good for it. The good news is, our B team looks on course for promotion to the 2nd tier of Spain, which would be really beneficial for our kind of B team players and their development. But yeah, I decided to give Lopez a nod, and he did a really, really good job for us there against Tottenham. And another player who played in this game was Sergio Blanchard, who you might remember from our youth intake last year. Look at the improvement here. Again, you've kind of got to hope he doesn't get injured, pray he doesn't get injured. Ignore the inconsistency as well. We can look beyond that. In fact, ignore the competitiveness. Just look at the raw current ability and potential ability. Let's not look at the many downsides that he could have. He's absolutely phenomenal, folks, and he got a goal in this game, as did Lopez. Let's watch the highlights for this one. And actually, 4 minutes into this game, Tottenham got off to a flyer. It was Gabriel Jesus with the goal. 4 minutes in, 1 goal down. You think to yourself, oh gosh, was this the right decision? I know that we're through. I know that we're going to be marching on to the knockout stages, but is this really the right decision to give the youngsters a chance up front? And, well, despite the fact they did score two, that you can see here, Lopez getting the first and Blanchard getting the second, you might be able to tell by the stats again in the bottom left, we had so many chances in this game. This should have been 5 or 6 goals in our favour, in truth. We were shocking when it came to our finishing. Ironically, it was kind of Lopez and Blanchard who let down the side a little bit, but... well, it didn't matter too much. And, well, Onguene, he got a goal in the 76th minute. Really good stuff there. And in the end, a 3-1 win is what we deserved. And we followed that up, as you can see, with 2 wins in the league. The first against Osasuna, a 3-1 win. Haaland getting 2 goals on off the bench, which was great. And then in our most recent game, we took on Levante. And Jonathan David got a goal for us, of course. Brought in for a club record 25 million by our board. Has he lived up to that billing? Probably not. He's been a pretty, I don't want to say meh or bad, just kind of average signing so far. You know, the average rating is 7.0 is fair. 3 goals in 11 games, a few of those on off the bench. I wouldn't mind it being a little bit better, but at the end of the day, he is 20 years old. He's got room to improve, and he's playing very, very well for the Canadian national team. I'm hoping eventually that form will translate to our team. So yes, that's kind of what's been going on here. Of course, with it not being a transfer window and, well, the tactic just working as well as it is, I haven't felt a massive need to change things. I have continued to rotate the team quite a lot. The good news today is that Konate is back from his injury. We are in the process as well of offering him a new 5-year contract at the club. He currently has 3 years left of his current deal. And given the fact he's missed a lot of football as of late with an injury, we're actually able to get him, on a slightly cheaper deal than we might be able to get him on should he find some form. So I'm putting some early faith in him. And additionally, Perez, also looking to offer this guy a new contract. We've given him a 5-year deal with an optional 3-year extension. He currently has a 4-year deal. So if we could get him to sign that theoretical 8-year deal, I think it's only on like £15,000 a week with a massive, massive release clause. That would be great. You can just see he's improved a hell of a lot as of late. I mean, if we look here at actual attributes in the last 12 months, you can just see here across the board, big improvements pretty much to everything. And that really has been brought upon, I feel like, by him getting regular first-team football, something he didn't get so much of last year. So that's been really good for us. We have got a few players with a little bit of interest, including Denis Suarez. You can see here, Arsenal and Milan interested. Part of me does wonder if it would be worth selling him if the right offer came in. Of course, we've got Carles here, who's been absolutely top draw for us. When we called upon him, he can do the business. If we just compare him to Denis Suarez, you can kind of have a look at the head-to-head here. There's really not a great deal in them. And considering how much Suarez is on, considering the fact he's worth 37 million, he might well be worth getting rid of. You can see he's listed as surplus to requirements. That's actually a mistake on my behalf. During the summer, we offered him out to some clubs just to see if anyone would be interested. He's got a £56 million release clause. If a club met that, I'd probably bite their hand off for it. I think anything over £40 million, even maybe £35 million, I'd have to consider it just because of the crazy wages he's on. I really don't feel like he offers bang for his buck, I guess, like a lot of the other players in our team. Of course, Florentino Luis had interest in him during the summer. That interest has not gone away, unfortunately. If anything, it's got a lot bigger. So let me know how much you would sell this guy for. He's got a minimum release clause of 165 million. I can't see anyone bidding that much for him. That would probably be the most money I've seen a player go for this year in FM. He looks absolutely superb though. At 21 years old, he's got a 5-year deal at the club. We have absolutely no reason to sell him, but I'd be very curious to know what price you guys would sell him at. He's developed a lot at the club. Really has improved a lot. If you compare him to 12 months ago, you can see here just general improvements across the board have been very, very solid. There is part of me that thinks, would he be worth selling if the right offer came in? He probably would be, but I feel like the price that I'd want would probably be close to £100 million. And to an extent, I almost feel like you can't really put a price on what he offers us, particularly because, of course, alongside Jedson Fernandez, we've got a really nice, Portuguese link in the centre of the midfield. 2 players who I definitely feel like will play alongside one another for the national team for many years to come. They complement each other very, very well. And I kind of want to just keep them here if we can. So yes, there is interest in our players. You can see a lot of our players wanted. We'll see what happens if big offers come in. We might have to look to move players on. That's kind of the nature of the beast here. But yeah, we'll evaluate things as they go. There's not too much point talking about hypotheticals. For all we know, we could expect all these offers to come in and then absolutely none come in. Anyway, if we just look here, Europa League, we've got one game left. We are top of our group. We look very, very good. You can see Tottenham drew against Brøndby. They struggled in Denmark, which makes our win against them, I guess, a little more impressive at home. I'm hoping, of course, when we go to play them, we can get another good result against them. But yes, we look very, very good here right now. Top of the group, we're qualifying. Jobs are good, and we can play a rotated team for our last game, which we probably will do, to be honest. Meanwhile, in the league, today we take on Real Madrid. If we win here, we could go ahead of them on head-to-head, although they have played a game less than us. You can see Barcelona have had a really good run of form as of late. They're 5 points ahead of us, so it's really important today, if we can, that we get a win to really maintain that gap. We aren't playing Real Madrid at home here, and we've been very, very good at home for the most part, so there's an optimistic side of me that feels like this is our game to take. And well, in terms of our team, this is what we're going to go with. And Santi Mina's back in the team, folks. I've tried working without him. We've given David chances. We've given Hurtado chances. They've done okay. I talked about David not being, incredible. If David's not been incredible, Hurtado has just been awful. And that really hurts to say because I thought this guy was going to be really good. I'm already weighing up potentially loaning him to Salzburg in January, if not maybe looking to sell him on, although it feels like giving up on him so soon might be a bit of a mistake. But yeah, he's done nothing. He's not scored in the league. We've given him a lot of minutes as well. He's had 7 starts. And with how competitive our striking positions are for players, it's a tricky one. I guess the good news is we only paid £7.75 million for him. It's not a tiny amount by any means, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't an eye-watering amount of money. But yeah, Mina and Haaland have just been the kind of 2 standout players, and ironically they were the 2 strikers that we ended last season kind of playing very, very regularly. Anyway, across the midfield, we talked about Suarez. I would potentially let him go. Fernandes and Luiz have continued to do fantastic in the middle. Mendes out on the right has kind of steadily been plodding on and doing his thing as well. I do feel like next year he's going to have competition for his place. Bryan Gil has been doing absolutely phenomenally at Salzburg. Really has been putting in top draw performances, including in the Europa League. He can play on the right wing. He's left-footed. It feels like a natural progression that he could end up being our man there. You can see Beltran's also done well on his loan. So, yeah, Salzburg at the moment is looking like a very good team for us in terms of our relationship with them. In the defence, Perez, I've talked about his development. He's been a regular starter with Konate's injury. For today's game, Onguene is suspended. So as a result, Perez is the man to start at left centre-back. And, at right back, Estevez has kind of become our starter. If we look at Kevin here, he's got the worst discipline in the league and he's really not played that many games. He's played 9 league games, 7.13 average rating, 2 Europa League games, 6.85. Meanwhile, for the youngster, Estevez, 8.13 rating in the Europa League, 7 appearances in the league, a 7.24 average rating. I'm going to keep talking about this guy. He's quickly becoming my favourite Portuguese youngster in terms of bargain signings. Some of you guys will know that I've really kind of championed a player called Trincao in the last couple of years of Football Manager as a player who's absolutely superb. If you have Portugal loaded, go check him out. He plays at Braga. He's a really good bargain buy. Estevez could be the next Trincao, dare I say it. I feel like they're not dissimilar players by any means. But anyway, you saw our team going into today's game. No messing around. This home tie against Real Madrid is a big one. I want to play our positive 4-4-2. We've had good success with it this year. Obviously, this is going to be a bit of a step up in terms of challenge. It's not going to be easy. And we've got Gareth Bale to contend with here. That's a dangerous tackle by Reguilon, but apparently it was a fair one. My heart may have skipped a beat as he slid him from behind, but the ref's been sensible. He's been kind to us. Now we need to deal with this. And, Bale, not the best header by the Welshman there. And 10 minutes gone, it remains 0-0, which I guess is a good start by all accounts. Looking at it here, they've edged out possession in the early stages, had a few more shots. But, I'm going to get shouty. I've been getting very shouty. I feel like I've started using touchline team talks more than ever in FM20. I just find that you can do them and they seem to have a good effect. I feel like it's always tricky with team talks, similar to tactical briefings and all that stuff, to actually get a feel of, is this actually making a difference or is the green text just giving me a warm and fuzzy feeling inside? Anyway, I'm going to be honest, that is one of the worst first halves of football we've seen all series so far. Reguilon's a little bit demotivated. Let's have a separate talk with him. He's still demotivated. That's concerning. Yeah, we'll hope he cheers up, I guess. I wish I had a better solution to that problem. But Reguilón's been interesting, actually. He's underperformed quite a lot. Oh my gosh, Haaland. Straight from kickoff. Why not? Wow, that's why not, because they're going to put in a tackle. That was a good opportunity, though. Clear-cut chance. A minute into the second half, we'll take it. Just to go back to the Reguilón point, he's really not played that well for us. It's been a bit underwhelming. I was hoping for more from him, and considering he's been our captain this year, he's not really led by example. Anyway, I've got a dilemma here. I can play Keko out on the right, who, to be fair, compared to last year, really hasn't matched. I guess he's not been given an opportunity to match his performance last year, but obviously the 28-year-old performed so crazily well last year, it was always going to be difficult for him to replicate. But actually, the change that I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in Jonathan David and play him higher up the pitch. Obviously, with us having our 4 really good strikers, this has been something that I have done from time to time. David can play anywhere across the front 3 in terms of attacking midfielder positions as well as a striker. And although he's right-footed, he's looked pretty solid for us as an inverted winger on the right. So we're going to play him there. I just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure he should keep the instruction Jay does. So he's going to sit narrower, and he's also going to track back and mark their fullback, which is a very important thing for us to do in this formation. We defend very narrowly and very compactly, and we do rely on the wide playmaker on the left and the inverted winger on the right to, really try and mark out or at least apply pressure in the wide areas to the fullbacks. I've noticed in Spain a lot of defenders do tend to overlap when going forward in the wide areas, and you could potentially get caught out with the kind of formation we play, particularly defending so narrow. So just that additional instruction has worked really, really well for us. Anyway, David takes a touchdown. Go on, David. Go on. Oh, that was a chance for him to make a name for himself. I can't believe there's only 15 minutes left. This has been such a meh half of football so far. We've had the better chances, it has to be said. Could we have a chance here? No, David's handballed it. He thinks he's playing volleyball, bless him. Right, who has not performed? Santi Mina, Hurtado, you've not scored all year. This is your moment, my friend. We do have one more sub. Gedson Fernandez hasn't had the greatest of games, or Jedson Fernandez, I should say. I'm going to bring in Hadara for him and move Florentino Luis to box midfielder, I think. Part of me wants to go more attacking and push for it, but ultimately 0-0 against the team who were top of the league prior to this game, I'd probably take. At the same time, we've looked kind of threatening as things have gone in this game. It's not exactly been a classic live con, which I feel like I can only apologise for, but well, Blanco's saving our ass because that is a really good chance for Real Madrid. You can see here the chances. We've created opportunities, debatably been the better team, just in terms of more half chances, more shots, even if we have had less of the ball. But, well, it remains 0-0 here, and time is of the essence. I can do another shouty team talk. There's 5 minutes of added time here, and there's another highlight, so don't take your seat, folks. It's not over just yet. Cruz plays it inside. We need to defend this. We haven't defended this. Tony Cruz, and it's the right back. I don't know where Denis Suarez is there. It's got to be said. Is he marking his man? I mean, he's not known for his defensive prowess. Where's the left back in all of that? Reguilón, where did you go? Why are you there? Right, we might as well go very, very attacking here. We've got a matter of seconds to try and make something happen. Over the defence, boys. Counter press. Just go for it. We've got seconds. Very attacking. Nothing's happening. It finishes 1-0 Real Madrid. That is a kick to the gonads, isn't it? Blanco made 6 saves, which is pretty good. Everyone reacts well except Reguilón. I feel like me and him, we don't see eye to eye. He always reacts negatively to team talks that everyone else reacts well to. Hurtado, still goalless. He's now played 7 hours of football. That's kind of concerning, I'm going to be honest. I have tried to play him against some of the punching bag teams as well, and he's not performed in those either. In terms of immediate games, maybe we could play him in the game against Bromby. We've then got Getafe away to end December, and then we've got the winter break, and then we're back with Eibar Huesca, I'm going to say is that team's name, and then we have Barcelona as well, which I think is where we'll be back next time. It'll be midway through the transfer window. I'm sure there'll be some business going on. And of course, that's potentially going to be a huge game in our season. You can see we're 5 points behind them. We're probably going to have to win that game to stand any chance of finishing above them. I guess the good news is, whilst Atletico Madrid do have a game in hand, we are currently on course for that top 4 finish, which I was really targeting this year in order to get Champions League football. So we'll take that silver lining, I guess. I mean, things have been pretty good here. 17 games played. You can see Blanco's on clean sheets. Lots of reasons to be positive, but that's a very, very unfortunate result. How long is Mendes out for? Not too long, so that's some good news there. It definitely could have been worse. One more thing before we go, as well as playing some of the youngsters in games, I have also given Mariba his first ever game for the club. He's looking very, very good, and the more that he continues to develop and look solid, the more I feel like Lobotka could go. So let me know, how much would you sell Lobotka for? How much would you sell Denis Suarez for? And bearing in mind he has a release clause of £56 million. And Florentino Luis, what would be your price for him? 3 players, 3 prices. Please do let me know. I want to make sure I don't get fleeced in the market. I feel like everyone has a slightly different perception on things and how much they'd be willing to sell players for. I want to know yours listening right now. So go down below, leave it there. Also lets me know that you've watched until the end of the video if you do leave that kind of comment. Because you are a rare breed if you listen all the way to my end of my ramblings, and well, I'm appreciative of you. Thank you for watching. But anyway, folks, that is all from me today. Next episode, massive game against Barcelona, could be critical in our race for Champions League football. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.